All right, good morning. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. Market up about 20 points here this morning. So not a huge move, but small move up in the market. We have small caps up about 50 cents here after the jobs report, U.S. jobs report today. We saw the number came in weaker than expected. As I made the comment yesterday, I don't know that we could call it weaker than expected since expectations were already tempered in a big way based on what we saw on the ADP report on Wednesday. So we saw initial sell-off on the jobs report. We start to track back, then report out of the White House that tariffs on the next raise of tariffs on China could be delayed till the 15th of June. The market got a high volume pop. You'll notice the volume on that news relative to the jobs report. This market isn't about the jobs report right now. Okay, and I know that's what the news is focused on, but just the volumes tell us everything there. And, we've seen the market open up and basically get bought up here, since the open. It's not a blitz higher, it's not a melt up, or it's not it's not even a huge move, right? It's a move where if you stack it on the last several days, yeah, it's a pretty sizable move. But so far, less today, not even a percentage move here in the market. So pretty much taking the market right back to an interesting level. And let me show that to you here. May 9th, right here. This is when the challenge started. And if we look at the closing price of the market on that day, it's pretty much since the challenge started, the market has it's had one little dip, one little rip, and been a lot of chop and a lot of flat out there, with things. Now with some stocks, there have been some trend developments and things like that, but market as a whole just really has gone nowhere, since the challenge has started. Sorry, don't want to save that. So anyway, let's go get to the challenge. There are no signals on the board right now. I'll check in 3 minutes when the signals, when it finalizes here. But we have 3 positions on the board. Let's go fill in the prices. 510 on Disney, 350 on Under Armour. So Under Armour down a little from yesterday. Disney up a little from yesterday. And let's see, Visa at 715 here, so up a little bit, right? It takes challenge just over 10 grand. Not a bad spot. Not a bad spot for 7 trades. And let's face it, only 2 have hit their price targets. The other 5 haven't. Obviously Visa, Disney getting close. But, I do expect, based on the historic run rate, about 58% of the trades to hit that 2 average true range price target level. And, we are running below that here with this challenge so far, which, okay, great, whatever. It'll adjust over the long haul, but, the sample size is still very small as well, to take too much out of it. Now, if you take a look at the cash exposures on the trades right now, right, it's becoming very different, right? The exposure on Visa is double that on Under Armour, and Disney is 50% greater here with that exposure. But let's see, stock profit level 138.33 for Disney. We're not there. Let me double check here. We're not there. Getting close, but no cigar. With Visa, we're getting close as well. We're what, 15 cents away? It's 170.38 here. We're 13 cents away. We have double the exposure here, so I'm going to come in here and adjust it. I'm just going to pull off some contracts here with Visa. I'm gonna let's see here. If we cut it by, we're dealing with a delta of only 400. Yeah, if we cut it, it's not. Yeah, there's an interesting one here. I could pull it off and go put more on a different option here with it, but I'm gonna settle in here. Let's just settle in here, and I'm just gonna pull it off. I'm out at 723. I'm out at 723 here. I just put a limit order in. 723 is the exit price that I took on Visa here, and so 723. Let me make sure the alert goes out. Then I'll kind of explain that. Yeah, here we are. We're at our price target, so we've hit that and good to go. And the option is moving on higher here, so nice to see. Okay, let me just make sure the alert gets out before I carry on here. There we go. All right, so out of the whole thing at 723. Now, this decision is not fully in line with the challenge parameters, but it is happening at an interesting level, right? It's happening at a level where the challenge has hit 10 grand. And we don't have enough cash to pull cash out of the challenge, and when the challenge hits 10 grand, the idea behind it is to pull out 3 grand and to and to kind of just run with the gains from there. So we'll be doing that. But part of pulling Visa off wholly here is just simply to be able to do that. Okay. So out of Visa completely. Again, if the challenge weren't hitting 10 grand, I would pull off 2 contracts and continue to hold. But being at this level, I'm just going to take it at its exit level and go. So trade close date 6/7 a.m. and there we are. Okay, there we are. All right. No new signals, as I mentioned this morning. No new signals coming in. I just saw it on my other screen. So we do have some 3/7 crossovers out there, but no new signals here on board with the market. But anyway, that leaves us here with Disney. And leaves us here with Under Armour. And both just kind of doing nothing here today. So continuing to hold those, and we'll run with those here for now. Let's see here on their time stops. Let's see. Yeah, neither of them are in danger of their time stops here today. So most likely we'll hold them into the weekend unless something changes here dramatically with the prices there on it. Okay. All right, so that gives us 3 out of our 7 trades that have hit their price target, which is nice. We've played it relatively conservatively. Visa was a little more aggressive on the option than some of the others, but in terms of the amount of time on the options, even in terms of some of the exposures, been a little bit lighter than the challenge setup suggest it should be, but not a bad start for the first live automated challenge. I will definitely take this start, and we'll look to move on further. Now, I'm not going to make a decision on the pulling of the 3 grand here just yet. I will talk more about that here this afternoon. When I jump on video at 2:30 Eastern time. Okay. There's a lot of news out there. There's a lot of, ho-hum and Mexico this and jobs report that and Fed this and Fed that. It's a lot, and it's not going to go away. and it's a lot of stuff that there are a million different possible outcomes. There are many different types of variables, but we continue to see something, and we saw it earlier this week. We saw the metrics change, right? We didn't see the news cycle change. We didn't see, oh, well, you know what, all of a sudden, now it's all good news in the market, right? And there's no risks in the market. That's not what we saw this week. That's not what we saw on Tuesday morning. We saw a change in the metrics. And, despite all of the news, U.S. Mexico, the negative ADP report, the bad jobs report this morning, the Fed and this kind of all of a sudden this shift to, well, now the economy's falling, so Fed has to act. The market's been hit with all of that here this week. But, despite all of that turmoil and all of those headline fears that can come in, we have seen the market react to the metrics. We saw the market react to the metrics on the way down. They've reacted to the metrics on the way up. And I know the metrics aren't causing the ups and downs, but the metrics, pin them very nicely. Now, we haven't seen, while we saw the signal on the market vibe turn bullish, we haven't seen, all the metrics turn, bullish control. We are seeing the bullish percent index change today, into some bullish control. We do have a little lag in the small caps here in the ultra short run, but as I talked about yesterday, it's not anything to be overly concerned about here just yet because, overall they're performing in line with, what we see historically. But, that is one of the things that could shift and is in danger of, shifting here. But, market vibe this morning sitting at a 3. We're not talking about this monster bull market where it's sitting up at this 9 and 10 and the bulls have control of everything. It's only a 3, right? But the signal, remains bullish here with the market vibe. Now, let's go take a look at some of the 3-7 crossovers here this morning. I promised I would show those. And let's come in and take a look. Now, none of these are triggering signals, so keep that in mind here. None of them are triggering for the algorithm, the challenge algorithm. But these are the 3-7 crossovers on the challenge algorithm here this morning. Amazon, Baba, JD, Altria, Twitter, Valero, Walgreens. These are the upside 3-7 crossovers. And again, none are signaling here just yet. Very interested to see, kind of Baba, JD. I don't think they have a chance of triggering. But, man, I'd love to trade them higher right here. But really don't think they have a chance of, really triggering here on the day. Amazon, perhaps. Yeah, it could. Chances are probably pretty slim given the visual picture there. Valero, yeah, probably no shot there. Anyway, those are the 3-7 crossovers to the upside. On the downside here, let me pull it up. For you. But the downside, you can see what the scan looks like. Just for the challenge stocks, it's blank, right? It's blank. And it's something where, and I addressed this on Monday because I was asked, hey, if the market does turn bullish, is anything in the watch list going to actually trigger bullish with how some of the sell-offs have been? And, we went through and talked about some of the stocks that could, and some of the stocks that are set up that way. Well, now we've had a nice little rally. Could some of these turn bearish? Yeah. A FedEx could. I don't expect it to, but it could. An Apple could, right? On the next dip, but I don't really expect it to. But a lot of these stocks where they had these really harsh sell-offs, they've had these nice bounce backs. They need a couple things. If they turn lower, they could signal a downside signal, but also turning lower could set up a higher low for an upside signal. So both of those possibilities are very much in play for a lot of the stocks on the watch list, and is something that something that I would not be surprised to see play out with a lot of different stocks out there. on the watch list. But as far as the scans go, and as far as where things are sitting, there's not a whole lot of entry signal coming in right now. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks for hopping on. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.